everyone, and welcome to another video. So we're out in the backyard with the van, and I wanted to show you something interesting about it. Let's come over here. As we've discussed in the past, we kind of have this set up for a 5-seater configuration. So there's basically a driver, a passenger, and then there's 3 seats here for kids or other passengers. The way I've got the rear of the van set up is with basically a dual bench setup with a standing desk which can elevate and lower to basically convert from dining room table down to basically a king-size bed when these 2 mattresses kind of put together. Long story short, though, what ends up happening is we can't carry any passengers in the rear of the van when it's in this camper configuration. Now, we've got a situation coming up where we need actually 8 passengers. I need to be able to carry 8 people in here. So what we're going to do today is I want to show you how I designed it so that this rear setup is fairly modular in the sense that you can easily take out 1 bench, 2 benches, the table, whatever you need to kind of get the configuration you're looking for. So what we're going to do today is we are going to remove this passenger side bench on the side, and I'll show you that it comes apart again fairly easily and quickly. We're going to get this out, and then we will put back in 3 of the stock passenger seats. Again, if you're interested in the seating configuration of this rear or of the whole van, I made a separate dedicated video talking in very great detail about all the different seating configurations. But long story short, you're able to put 3 single seats on this passenger side, and that's going to allow us to carry 8 people. So the first thing we need to do is I need to show you how we designed this bench so that it can easily slide in and out of the van. So the first thing we need to do is basically remove it. We need to get rid of this mattress. We'll take that out. We need to clear out all the garbage and junk that I store underneath, take off the drawers and all that stuff, and then we'll work on getting this bench out. So let's go move the camera around to the back of the van and then just start taking stuff out of the benches.
So it's probably my own fault, but I've discovered I'm a little bit of a pack rat, and I guess over the summer I've just stored more and more stuff in these back benches. Usually I carry, bedding, blankets, chains in the winter, shovels, gravel for getting out of sticky, snowy situations, floor mats, bungee cords, propane tanks, all that kind of stuff. So all of that's got to come out so I can access the attachment points of this bench.
All right, so the next thing we got to do is get this mattress off. I have a really simple system. I basically just have this ratcheting strap here that if I loosen it up, you can basically just take this off, and then that comes off, this comes off, and then this whole mattress will just slide out. So since this is just a simple IKEA twin mattress, I can just pull it out, and we're in business. All right, so now that we've got the mattress out, we can start emptying some of the contents of the bench. I actually made it so this bench has a little bit of storage for some emergency components inside of it. So let's just clear all this out, and then we will go to the next step. All right, so next, if you remember, I actually have a series of drawers that are built into these benches. Again, shameless plug, if you're interested in learning more about these drawers, feel free to check out the dedicated video I made on how these were designed and installed. What we need to do is just pull out this drawer, and again, I use these pretty standard sliding drawer pulls, so they come out pretty easily. I think you just have to find this little tab, push it in. You got to do the same on the other side, and this is the only part where it gets a little challenging, is working in this tight space. It gets a little bit difficult to kind of get both of these off simultaneously. So let me see if I can do this. I might need to go get a helper. Oh, there we go. There's one edge. And let me see if I can get this other edge out without dropping this thing on my foot. Oh no. Okay, there he goes, kind of going. Aha. Oh, there we go. Okay, now there's one drawer out. Okay, all right, now let's just repeat for the other 4, and then I think we'll pretty much have this bench almost empty. All right, so now I've got this little crossbar here that I use to make sure that the 2 benches are the appropriate distance apart so that the table can slide up and down. So all I need to do is basically just pop this thing out, And we'll be ready for the next step. There we are. This thing just comes out. All right, so now what I've got to do is I've got this bench which is tied into this center 2x4. This center 2x4 is actually the part that is bolted to the seat anchor. So this is the part that is basically attached to the car. So to make it easier, I have this plate that I made with basically 4 screws that if I just pull these out, what I can do is I'll take apart these 4, and then I have another tie plate in the front of the bench that has the exact same attachment mechanism. I'll just unscrew this, and then the bench can basically be removed from this main structural 2x4. All right, so now that we've got those screws removed, you can see that the entire bench will now basically just kind of move independently of this main 2x4. So now I just need to grab an assistant to help me get this bench out of the van.
So with the drawers removed, the bench is actually pretty light. I'd guess it's between 30 and 40 pounds, but it's pretty long and unwieldy, so I just grabbed a helper to help me drag this thing out of the van, and as you can see, it comes out pretty easily.
All right, so now all we've got to do is get this 2x4 out of here. So I've got these 2 orange caps. I 3D printed these little caps, and all they really do is they cover up. I basically have a U-bolt down here that I'm using to secure the 2x4 into the railing that the seat usually grabs onto. So let me unscrew these bolts, and then we'll be able to basically just pop this guy out. All right, so I've got those nuts off, and I'll show you what I mean. This basically just lifts straight off. There you go, and I'll show you again. All I've got is just a simple U-bolt that I use to kind of hook around the this anchor point rail that the chair usually uses. So, okay, let's take this out, and then we're basically back to a cargo van configuration, and I can start installing these 3 side seats. All right, so now all we've got to do is just reinstall these 3 side seats into the empty space where we used to have the bench, and they fit quite nicely. And again, I'm not going to show you the explicit procedure of how to install these because I went over this in pretty excruciating detail in the prior video. Give me a couple of minutes to get these installed, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, so let me show you the finished product now. So as you can see, now we've got these 3 seats on the side, so you can carry, more kids with some boosters or another adult while still maintaining and keeping the table configuration along with a bench on the side, which also still has our things like, the refrigerator or the microwave and, kitchen utensils and pots and pans and all that kind of jazz. So at this point now, I think we've got an 8-person vehicle, so we can carry 8 people. Now, obviously, I could do this again. This table will come out in the very similar fashion to how this other bench came out, and obviously, this other bench will also remove, although this takes a little bit more work because this is where I house all of my electronics, like the battery and the inverter and things like that. So there is a cable that I'm going to have to unplug if I want to take this other bench out and turn this way back into a 15-person van. Also I can take out the kitchen pod here if we really need to convert this all the way back to a stock 15 passenger wagon / van, but that takes a lot of effort, so I'm not going to do that. I only need the 8 seats for my particular application, so I think we're pretty much ready to go. All right, so there you have it. That's my system for flip-flopping the van between sort of a camper configuration and a people hauling configuration. And it's worked out pretty well for me so far. As you can see, it doesn't take a lot of effort. If you just think a little bit ahead when you're designing your back benches and tables and things like that, you can easily retain the capability of moving people or keeping it as a camper configuration. So, like I said, it's worked out pretty well for me. I've had to flip-flop it several times, and it takes takes really just a minimal amount of effort, and it keeps the versatility and keeps your options open with the van. So with that being said, I think it's probably a great spot to leave it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, I also hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. Surprisingly, if you just scroll a little ways down and click on that subscribe button, it really does help me continue making these videos. And remember, the new videos come out every Monday. I have other van videos on the channel, so I hope you'll consider checking those out. You can also support the channel via Patreon if you're so inclined. And the nice thing about that route is 100% of the proceeds that the channel receives via Patreon are going to be directed towards K through 12 science, engineering, and adventures for kids and young adults. So, like I said, I hope to catch you at one of these other van videos where we can all hopefully learn something new together. So until then, I think I'll sign off. Talk to you later. Bye.